Greetings, English 201 students. My name is Jim Sullivan. I'm your instructor, and I'm looking forward to a really cool semester studying some amazing literature and working on our writing skills together. This is our syllabus, and I want to just give you 4 ideas to think about as you unpack this rather large, detailed, but I hope helpful document. And the first idea I'd like to ask you to think about is a syllabus is a tool for learning requirements. And you see right away that we've got requirements related to text we need to acquire, technology that we need to use. So those are sort of basic kind of requirements. But another thing that we can think about are requirements related to how this class is going to work. And there's a section of the syllabus called How We'll Learn in This Class, and it walks you through how things are set up and the requirements in terms of how the class is going to conduct itself. And of course, many of us are concerned about grades. We want to do well in the course. We want to understand what the expectations are. So there's a section in the syllabus about what our major assignments are and what percentage of the course grade they make up. That's really important to check out. But also remember that there are some sort of minimum criteria that you have to meet no matter what your calculated grade in Canvas is. In other words, you have to, in this course, pass 2 out of the 3 major papers to pass the course. Now, I know that's not a concern for most of you. Most of you, I hope, are shooting for A's. But if you do get in a situation where you're on the margin, it's important to remember you could have an 80, 85% in showing up in the Canvas gradebook because of the weight of learning activities or the weight of a really good paper. But you might have 2 papers that aren't yet passing in there, and you could end up not passing the course if you don't make sure, no matter what your percentage grade is, that at least 2 out of your 3 papers have it 70% or higher. So requirements is a big idea to think about when you're thinking about the syllabus. Another big idea the syllabus can help with is having a sense of the purpose of the class. There's a little button right here. You can click on it, purpose, and it'll take you right into some really important ideas. We have a guiding question in the class. Make sure you read that and think about it. I'm going to talk about it a bit more in a minute. I've got a little warning for you there about the kind of text we're going to read. Some of them are kind of controversial. The language can be challenging. The themes can be very adult. This is the place where you can read about and learn about our student learning outcomes. These are the 3 big things that we're going to focus on mastering this semester. And then our performance objectives, which are the 11 big things, and they include the 3 outcomes within them, the 11 kind of major targets for development of our skills over the course of the semester. So the second criteria to think about in the syllabus is how the syllabus can help you understand the purpose of the class. Another really important idea for me when I think about the syllabus is the centrality of making connections. And so I like to talk about making connections as a way of developing success strategies for you in the course and in college here at MiraCosta and when you go beyond. So if you click on the Making Connections button, you'll see that I walk you through different kind of connections that are important. We're going to talk about how to connect with texts, which means how we're going to annotate and how we're going to look for cultural themes and literary devices to discuss, learn, and write about what we read. We're going to talk about how to connect with me. I've got sections in there about how to reach out with me. I've got a lovely picture, a little less gray and white hair in that picture than I have now. I talk about my responsibilities and goals. I talk about connecting with your classmates and the value and importance of doing that. And I talk about connecting with the college and all the tremendous support resources we have here at MiraCosta, like our Writing Center, like our Disabled Students Programs and Services, like our LGBTQIA resources, and a ton of other stuff, policies, tools, and resources you can use to succeed. So another way to approach the syllabus is through the syllabus as a tool for connection. Finally, I want to talk about calendar. The 4th tool that a syllabus can give you is a calendar. But it's really important in this class not to misunderstand the calendar in the syllabus. The calendar in the syllabus is not the one you'll be looking at every night while you're trying to figure out what's due in the course for each date. The details of what's due each date in the course are in Canvas, and you'll see they appear on a calendar on the homepage. You click on a date, shows you everything you need to have done by 11:59 p.m. on that date. And you can get to that list through various other links in Canvas too, like your Canvas calendar, through the assignments link, through the modules link. There's a lot of ways to get through that work, but the easiest is by following the calendar date button I have on the homepage. There you're going to see all the detail that's going to walk you through the 5 or 6 hours of work you're going to need to do for each course deadline. What's here in this calendar is a simple schematic outline. It shows you kind of the basic topics, the basic kind of assignments we're going to do. And this is really useful for thinking long term, like which weeks are there going to be mandatory synchronous sessions. Remember, you can always do a makeup, but you do have to either do the live session or the makeup. When are paper drafts due? When are final drafts due? Which readings are we doing when? All those kind of big picture ideas show up in this syllabus, as well as important college deadlines from drop deadlines to the final exam date. So the calendar in this syllabus is a useful tool at the beginning of the semester for getting the big picture. But for the day-to-day work you're going to do, if you try to use this calendar, you will be lost. You need to use the calendar in Canvas, in particular, the calendar on the homepage that I've created with a calendar date for each due date in the course. And you click on that and it tells you everything due by 11:59 p.m. on that due date, which is basically midnight. Okay, so hopefully I've given you 4 ideas that help you understand the syllabus. The syllabus can help you with our requirements. It can, sorry about that. Oh, that's blinding when it scrolls that fast. Our requirements, our purpose, both in terms of what we're trying to achieve and what we want to learn from the class, and how to make connections, and a course calendar. That section called How You'll Learn in the Class, I think that's useful to think of as a requirements piece of the syllabus. Okay, before we go, just a quick word about the guiding question. Human agency. What do we mean by that? Well, when we talk about human agency, we mean our control over our own destinies, control over our own lives. And synonyms for human agency are things like the freedom, self-determination, self-control, control over shaping our own lives, independence. Those kind of ideas. In psychology, they'll talk about things like self-efficacy and internal locus of control. But we're really talking about the idea of freedom, being in charge of your own destiny, being in control of what happens in your life. The opposite of human agency is determinism. When we talk about determinism, we're talking about outside forces that shape and determine our life. And those forces could be, depending on your views, biological. They could be social, political, cultural, racial, class-oriented. They could be religious. They can work from a lot of different social or cultural forces that shape who we are. And one of the great discussions in human life in general, and American culture specifically, is how much of who I am is my choice, how much of who I am is freely determined and shaped by me, and how much am I a product of the world around me? How do I balance those things? Do I get to balance them? Am I a determined creature who's only kind of thinking I'm free, or do I have real freedoms, real capacity to control my life? Literature is fascinated by that question, both on the level of the individual human seeking to find fulfillment in life, but also on the level of how it works in our larger culture. So we want to be able to play with that word, to understand that word, human agency, because we will come back to it again and again and again. It gives our course readings, our walk through our course readings, a sense of purpose and direction, and it will become a focus point for our papers. All right, folks, I hope this quick tour of the syllabus helped. I hope you've got a good idea about what I mean by human agency. Make sure you read the syllabus carefully. We're going to discuss the syllabus below, and we're also going to have a little quiz on it. So make sure you're grounded in the syllabus. Thanks. See you in Canvas.